Well, it's another week, and you know how we do in this kind of setup. It is that time where we get to hang out with one of the greats of South African football, be it a coach or be it a player, or in this case, be it both. 10 questions, and I'm hanging out with one of the most successful coaches to come out of South Africa. And of course, that is Gavin Hunt. Coach Gavin, thank you so much for making the time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, we could talk about your football career, playing and coaching, until we're pink in our faces. But a lot of people know Gavin Hunt, the head coach. A lot of people know Gavin Hunt, the former Hellenic right back. But who is Gavin Hunt?
I'm a basic boy from a place called, I was born in a place called Seaforth in Simonstown. You know Cape Point?
Yeah.
If you blink, you miss it. Yeah, it's a town. I'm the third most famous person from there. There was Simon van der Stel, and then Just Newson, the dog, and then me. There was three.
So essentially, but by order of importance, obviously.
They most important. Simonstown. Yeah, a little town there, nothing there. You know, and then obviously moved up further up towards Cape Town, and then obviously got involved in football at a very early age, sort of 8, 9 years old, playing. You know, the normal structure, go through the structured junior teams, and then. Yeah, I joined a club, amateur club called Registal, which is a big amateur club in Cape Town. I mean, they had numbered A to T teams, E teams in each age group, 8, 9s, 10s. And then sort of went into made the South African under-16 side. And then, yeah, I got picked as a professional at 17. I signed for Hellenic at 17, made my debut at 18. And the rest is history, you know.
Coach, you know when you talk to former football people, players at least, and you ask, why did you choose this? They'll say to you, it chose me. You could have, I'm pretty sure you could have done anything with your life. Why football?
Well, I had the best 3 years of my life in Standard 8. I wasn't the brightest student. I got a Standard 8. Football was all I had. Yeah. You know, and obviously those days we had to go to the army for 2 years as a white South African. You know the story. So you were forced to go to the army, come out the army with no job. No qualifications, no nothing. My father's got there's 5 brothers. They were all tradesmen. My father was a carpenter. The other one was a fitter and turner. The other one's a plumber. They all had trades. So the natural progression was to go that way. And obviously I played football. So when I came out the army, I went straight back into professional football and got a contract. And then I started working just odd jobs and obviously played football at the same time. And then, you know, I built up, actually got into agency business and into football in the sports world. Had a big career there in 10, 12 years. And then the football changed when I retired in about 94. I retired. Well, I had to retire. My leg was buggered. Anyway, so 95, 96 and 98, the game changed in South Africa. It went sort of almost full-time. Salaries went from triple the salaries. And luckily at that stage, I was already coaching into sort of a professional environment, which was 7 stars. And when the game went full time, you know, I lost my business because they changed the principal agent. It's a long story. So luckily, I was at the right time. You know, sort of the salary, you know, from 2 salaries, earning 2 salaries, earned the one which sort of sustained and went from there. You know, 95.
Today, while we're talking about the coaching and how seamless it seemed getting into it from playing. Did they care that much about coaching badges then as they do now? Because today you're not a coach if you don't have any badges.
Yeah, they did. There was a guy called Horst Krieter. He ran South African technical director, German guy.
Yeah.
He was tops. So he came over to South Africa as a technical director for SAFA. And we sort of did introductory coursing. And I was still playing then. I was in my 20s. So I went down and we did it and I for extra money, I used to coach at schools in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's what we all did, under 10s, under 12s at a place called Holy Cross Convent. I never forget it. And I coached under 8s, under 10s. And then the national, the provincial under 16 team, schools team was being chosen. So they asked me to coach there and I coached there. And then they chose me as a South African coach under 16. And while I was still playing, you know, and you sort of got into it. And I never did my badges until 2000. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I never did my badges until then. So
you're just winging it this whole time?
So it was purely on experience, what I've learned, you know, and doing a few introductory licenses with SAFA, nothing major. And then I decided, look, I need to understand this business.
Yeah.
And I did my UEFA licenses. And that's when I really have found out about how to coach. There's a format to coaching. There's a procedure, not about, besides your knowledge of the game, how do you coach people, you know? And I learned, I went backwards 20 years in my life in football when I did my UEFA licenses. Yeah.
300 odd appearances for Hellenic. You never thought of playing for any other team? I mean, yeah, sure, you did Hellenic, and
you know what happened in those days? When you signed a contract, you were there for life.
Why?
Because the Bosman ruling and the Kutsia, which South African was the Kutsia ruling, came into effect after I stopped playing. So when you registered with the club, I played for Hellenic 81, 82, and then I went to the army 83, 84. So when I came out the army, I should have been free. I mean, like, my contract's finished. No. I came to Wits, and they wanted 50,000 rand from me. Transfer fee, which then was like, you know, a lot of money, and they didn't want to pay. They couldn't pay the money, so I had to go back to Hellenic. So I went back to Cape Town, 85, and then I played 85 till 95. You know, 10 years.
Would you have wanted to join another club? And if so, which one?
Because the money was so small at Hellenic. We were part-time footballers. We trained in the evenings, like everybody else in South Africa. We all worked in the day and trained in the evenings. And Wits doubled my wages if I was going to sign. Yeah. And they offered me a job, like as a repping job, you know, I'll never get, it was PG Glass. I'll never get as a rep and have, you know, obviously play football for them, and it was double the money I was earning. So obviously I wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave. Bushbucks wanted me to go there in 86, you know. I couldn't get a Bushbuck, couldn't get a release, because you couldn't, nowadays a player's got 2-year deal, 3-year deals, he's out, and he sits and he holds tight. Yeah. Or he lets his contract run out, whatever you want to call it. We were there for life. So whenever you wanted to leave, the only time you left was when they didn't want you. So it was a problem, or they sold you. Yeah, it was a major problem. So eventually you just stay in the one club, and you sort of go, and you'll find in sort of the 80s, a lot of guys didn't move. They were all at the one club. They stayed in one club. Chiefs, Pirates, they didn't move around much, you know, unless they got rid of you, you know.
Your regrets, coach, as a player. We'll get to regrets as a coach, which I would imagine. But your regrets as a player, what do you feel like you should have done that you just never got to?
I never got the chance to move to another club, to experience another culture, to experience. And I say this not I wanted to play in a black team. Yeah, I played in a white team all my life, and I wanted to play with black players. I just found the way they played the game was, in that time, we still had white teams, black teams. It was difficult. And there was integration already in the 80s, mid-80s, but it wasn't as much as it should have been. And I would prefer to play like in a Bushbucks team or something like that, where there was a little bit more freedom. We were coached by fear. Yeah. And I don't think the black teams were coached by fear. They were coached to express themselves. We were coached by fear, so we played with fear. And I played all my football all my life like that. You know, we played with fear. And that's something that I've learned as a coach, obviously later, that you can't play, a player can't express himself by fear. So that was one of the regrets, to move to a club where, you know, to a different culture, different vibe.
How much of your lessons as a player, under those kinds of circumstances, you're playing by fear, you've never been exposed to playing with black players, how much of that has helped Gavin Hunt, the head coach?
No, huge. I learned another culture. And they live in the same country. I learned another culture. Yeah. I learned how people think, how they talk, how they eat, how they live, the music. I've learned everything about, you know, and it's what I would love to be coming into football now as a 16, 17-year-old kid. Yeah. To experience this new way of doing things. I mean, you see it in our rugby team now, our cricket teams. We lived. It was difficult. People say, but now that when I see what it's all about, I say to myself, "Gee whiz, I wish I was coming in now into the game now as a 16, 17-year-old kid." You know.
You start your coaching career with smaller teams. I hate when they call teams smaller, but you start your career modestly.
I did the correct way. I earned my stripes. Yeah. And a lot of coaches today go straight into cushy jobs. So I earned 4 years in the first division. Believe you me, first division. You want to play there, it's tough. You learn, you know, okay, I was in the top club there, but you learn about how to coach, what to do. You don't have all the little nice things about you, how you travel and all that. So I earned my stripes there, man. I did my apprenticeship.
7 Stars, Hellenic, Black Leopards, Morocco Swallows. You know, when we look at Gavin Hunt today.
Swallows was the first time I've come into a situation where I felt, maybe Black Leopards, no, to be fair, Black Leopard, where I felt like, wow, this is a different vibe. It was a different culture altogether. Seven Stars, when I took over Seven Stars, the majority of the team was black players.
Yeah.
And I had a few coloured players, maybe one or two white players. There was 2 white players, I think, 2 or 3. So that was a different thing for me already. You know, I got to manage this thing differently. The old hairdryer treatment doesn't work so well here.
Are they looking at you funny? It's like, here comes this white guy.
Yeah. So I've had to change my way of talking, way of thinking, way of playing. They want to have an extra touch on the ball. I don't want to have extra, though. So it was good for me. Good grounding for me, a good experience for me, and we had a successful team. That club today, I'm telling you now, could have been as big as the Chiefs or Pirates. They were huge.
What went wrong?
Well, because they sold it to Ajax Amsterdam, and Cape Town Spurs merged and it became Ajax Amsterdam. I understood their whole thinking behind bringing the expertise and all that, but they were never going to gain the support that we had in Seven Stars. We played in the township in Langa.
Yeah.
We had a stadium there. They could have fixed that stadium. We played Bushbucks. We beat them. They were in the first division, eh? We lost in the semi-final to Sundowns on a penalty shootout. Fatumba, Chuku, Madao, that whole team.
Yeah.
We were a first division team. We lost on a 5-4. We missed 1 penalty in the semi-final of the Bob Save. Yeah. Which is the Nedbank today.
Yeah.
And that's a first division team. We never lost a game, 75 games, so we had a good support base there in the town because we played there, and we had people from the township playing in the team, local. You've always got to create it. You've got to create local players who come from the area playing in your local team. If you can do that.
What is it about coaching a team with less resources than an Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs?
Become a better coach.
That you managed to somehow create magic. You've been able to create magic out of nothing. Moroka Swallows, Black Leopards,
Nothing.
SuperSport United.
Nothing.
You've created legendary players. You've given us legendary players. First one, top of my head, Dane Clayt. If it was not for you, I think a lot of people will agree. If it was not for you, we would never have Dane Clayt today. What is it about you and less resources that you managed to make magic out of?
Well, I think you've got to, if you see what you got first, like you look at your team and you say to yourself, realistically, where do you think this team can finish? What do you think they can do? And then you put that into the way you want to play the game. So if you understand, lower risk football. You don't want to be playing out the back when you've got players who can't play out the back. You don't want to be taking risks in certain areas when you haven't got those type of players who can get you, who've got the ability and the skills to get out of situations. So you play a brand of football that's maybe not easy on the eye sometimes, but it's a results-driven football. And for me, I've always been results-driven. I think that because at the end of the day, what is it all about, football? Otherwise, take the goals away, take the referee away.
And just all play for fun.
And just play across the field and we just play for fun. It's got to be, we play for something, we're trying to win. And if you've got that mentality, for me, it's all about winning. Yes, you want to have a style. And if you can do it in a style and win, I mean, even better. But it's very difficult to do it, to win and have a style if you haven't got the quality, and you haven't got the right ingredients in the players. This one is not the best, this one's not too good. But he's good for our team because he does X, Y, Z, So I think that's the most important thing. And try and get the unity in the group. Diversity is our strength. And people don't understand it. You've got a good diversity in your group. You've got it at your strength. Believe me, you don't want to have too much of the one or too much of the other diversity. And you'll see my teams are very diversified. There's a good cultural mix there. Not because I look at the football reasons first, but if you got that type of thing, I mean, I look at our Springbok rugby team now. The diversity is our strength. We got, we got all types of ways we can do things, and we will get better.
What makes it sweeter, Coach? Having it easily. I mean, you've now tasted coaching a team that has got money, as opposed to teams that don't have that freedom of finances. Which victory is sweeter? Winning with a team that doesn't have it there
winning with a team that doesn't have anything. It's sweeter for me. The problem is it's so much easier to win with what you got. I mean, when I got to SuperSport, I said I won the league here. They said, you're joking. I said, you won the league here. I said, well, I think you got all the ingredients here. Your team it needs extra, it needs a little bit tinkering here and there, which we did. There was a few things that were put in place. That's the other thing. You got to put things in place. We do this, and this. That's it. Nothing outside of this. And if you do that, you're not going to play here. So set a few guidelines, and I said they're going to win the league. After 5 games, we were second bottom of the league. They said, oh, you're the losers guy. After 30 games, we won the league the first year.
So what I've always been amazed by, how did you do it with SuperSport United?
I really took all the frills out the game. We won 7 or 8 games 1-0. So that's not pretty. But as I said, we win him. And like I always say, everybody thinks they got a pretty girlfriend, but they're actually quite ugly, some of them. You know what I mean? So we make it ugly. We'll make this game ugly. Let's play ugly. We'll win 1-0. We're not going anywhere. And people say, how did you win that game? Well, we won it, you know, because we did whatever. So those are the type of things you got to instill into a team. It's like the Springbok rugby team. You look at the British Lions, they kick it, it goes to 5. It doesn't go past 5. It goes in the box. It's horrible to watch. In 40, 50 years' time, it'll say Springboks won 2019, British Lions.
Yeah, I don't want to lie. It was horrible watching your team win the league the way it did, but you won the league 3 times in a row. I mean, was 2 and 3 work of masterstroke, stroke of genius?
The first one was genius.
Yeah.
And the third one was, the middle one was, we had a good team. That team could have freewheeled by itself a little bit. Freewheel, when people, these are the railway lines, when you go off, just smack them back in and we keep going. This is the process, this is what we do. So the second year was, the Wits year, when I was at Wits, we should have won the league twice before that, became second.
Did you deserve 16, 17?
Yeah.
Did you deserve it?
Yeah. Or Pirates, Sundowns lost on the last day.
Yeah.
And we won. But besides that, we stumbled along the way a couple of games earlier. Because we got a little bit edgy, a little bit nervous.
You were pissed off with your home record. That's one thing that every time we were at Starrick Park, you were like, oh my God.
Yeah. We didn't do very well. We were better, but we were a better away team because we play that type of way. It was a bit of a counter-attackish type of game.
Yeah.
And we weren't like in your face. We couldn't rotate. We couldn't dominate the opposition in their half. Like if you look at teams around the world, Man City, they dominate you in their half.
Yeah.
They're in your half. They keep the ball. They go round. We were counter-attackish, which is... It's a bit edgy to watch and a little bit, but we were good. So that's why away from home we were better.
You said you're supposed to have won at least 2 league titles. Yeah. Which other one?
So when I got to Wits, we came third, second, first. Yeah, I think it's in that order.
And when you walked in, actually, I think the previous season was 6th.
Yeah, so those thirds and that second. The first year, we lost 2 games at home to Maritzburg, and I can't believe it. And we should have won the league. I thought we could have. The second year, Sundowns had a good run. The year we came second, we should have won it, and then we won it. But I knew that day we beat Sundowns in the top 8, 3-0, the top 8 game.
Yeah.
They were playing Champions League the next week, I think, or 2 weeks after that. The way we played, and I looked at my bench, and my owner came to me, he was a big gambler, and he said to me, what do you think? I said, we win the league. He got on the bookie. He phoned the tote, and I think he had a bet on us to win the league. And he won. Yeah, he won. Yeah.
What is it about Champions League that just never came right with Wits?
Well, I think with Champions League, the teams that I've coached, SuperSport, and we're trying to dominate domestically first. We don't have the resources. We're not going to take chartered planes.
Yeah.
Sundowns, Chiefs, charter planes.
Yeah.
Charter planes. I'll give you an example about a charter plane. So you get in there quicker, you're getting back quicker. So you get back on Monday, you're playing in Durban on Wednesday. We'll get back Monday afternoon, get in the plane Tuesday, play Durban on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening. We haven't got the squad. We haven't the resources. Our squads were never good enough. Good. When I went to Chiefs, we get on. I'll give you examples. I was at Wits the year before. We play a team called Aurora in Guinea, Conakry. Okay,
Right,
27 hours Wits to get there. 27 hours. Chiefs, 9 hours. What's the difference?
What?
9 hours to get there. Wits, the year before, 27 hours. 9 hours to Dubai, 10 hours that way. And 6-7 hours stopover, hanging over and that. 27 hours. 27 hours back, right Monday, playing Durban on Wednesday. Got no chance. Not with my squad.
A lot of South African football fans, we have our own perceptions. And we tell ourselves...
In South Africa, football is all about perception.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, we played beautiful... If I go pre-match, I played beautiful football with our young... People say this guy plays beautiful football.
Yeah.
But I don't say this. I don't lie to people. I don't create perceptions.
But now see, I love that.
I know that's bad for me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't give me a good image. But I say, stuff that. I want to tell the truth.
I love what you say about that, is that you don't lie. But then people kept thinking, a lot of fans kept thinking, this guy's just making up excuses for why he's not succeeding with Bidvest Wits. How do you mean you don't have the kind of money these other teams have when you have Brian Joffe as your owner?
Brian Joffe's not going to charter a plane for 3.5 million or 4 million.
Why?
Because
you can afford it. Bidvest can afford it.
Yeah, you can, but we don't have the squad. So we've got a squad. Do I have 2 players in each position that are equally as good or just not as good as the next one? No. Where's our focus? We want to dominate domestically. Do we need to go through all the process of all the robbery and the cheating and all the nonsense? No. So why put money into something like that? You know what I'm saying? Yes, nowadays people want to do better in Champions League, and I've always wanted to do well. I went to Chiefs for the resources. We were in the semi-final, and I got fired. So that obviously didn't sit well with me, but that's what happened.
Let's actually come there. Who failed you at Kaizer Chiefs? Management or your
I can stand here and say I was to blame and everything was to blame. But if you look at the circumstances, we were in the hotel for 7 weeks in COVID, right? They lose the league on the last day. They should have won the league. I think they got 8 or 9 points out of 24 in the bubble. Their team was on huge decline. There was old aging team. I get anyway. We get out the hotel. We get sold in the hotel, by the way. So all the players have gone. And obviously I don't have a club. I get a call. I don't want to lie to you, 2.5 weeks before the start of the new season. 2.5 weeks, right? To say, hey, would you be interested in the job? I'm saying, Kaizer Chiefs, obviously, you're not going to turn it down. But they've got a FIFA ban. Don't worry, we will get players. We need to get through this period. Are you interested? No supporters. It was still a COVID period, the second year. Anyway, I know it's not the right time because the team, I look at the team is, even though they lost the league by 15 minutes, the next season, and Ernst, if Ernst is honest with himself, he knows, that the team was on the decline. There was no legs in the team. There was an aging team. I had Norkovic who didn't want to play, and he was top goal scorer. I had Billet who broke his leg. So I had no striker. We had Castro who had one wooden leg. Okay? Couldn't run. And we had, a couple of other players who were at the end. Anyway, I take the job. I get into the first 2 weeks. We can't do a preseason. Because these players can't run. They can't do any physical because they mentally, they're still scarred from the thing. Anyway, we play, we lose, not going too well. Win a few, lose a few. We get into Africa, obviously. African game is slow, which suits us. I think to myself, we got a chance here. And I don't say anything to anybody. Anyway, in Africa, we're winning. In the domestic, we're losing. But in the PSL, it's 100 miles an hour. And as I said, we got no legs in the team. So I speak to the management. We say, listen, we know what we're going to do. We've got to get through this period. No problem. Let's get through this period, which is this season. Anyway, but let's go in Africa. We go. First time I've ever got into a group, by the way, in the history of the club. Wasn't very highly praised. I thought we beat Petro Atletico away, which is a top side, to get in the group. I'm playing the kids. Blom, Logobo, Mashiani. I've got kids and I'm playing. I think I can build. We're going to build for the future. Anyway, and we start winning. Get in the group. Get out the group. Get into quarterfinal. We play Roa. We win. Now we're in the semi-final. We beat Simba. They beat Simba. We get into the semi-final. We beat them 4-0, We lose 3-0 there. There's huge disappointment. We lost 3-0. I said, if it was the other way around, would you be happy? Oh, yeah. But it's the other way around. That was on the Sunday. On the Wednesday, we played Black Leopards in Venda. We go there. We leave Tuesday. We come back Monday. Half the team don't want to play. They're all this injured. The half those players played on the Saturday, by the way. Thanks. Threw me on. Anyway, so we go there. We lose. Get a call on the Thursday. You're out. I said, okay, I'm out. I said, let me do the Champions League at least. 2 games. Let me go. Anyway, it was out. So that was a hell of a disappointment because that's the furthest I've been in the Champions League with a team, and it's something that they got Al-Ahly against Perth. So I'm thinking, geez, luck, and we had Wired in the semi-final. They weren't very good, so that was disappointment.
I'm still asking, Coach, who failed you? Who do you feel failed you? Do you think you were not given a good enough chance by management?
You see what's happened now with the new coach. He's brought in how many people? 4 or 5 people. I walked into a room full of people that have been there with 4 or 5 coaches. So they were set in the ways. That wasn't going to change much. So I had to buy in a lot to their ways instead of, me. So I thought, well, if you can get through this first year, we can make a few changes. You know what I mean? In that side and obviously on the playing side as well. I never got to that to actually build a team of my own here. You know what I'm saying? Because it was Ernst's teams really. He built that team and fair play was hella unlucky. And I always felt he should have stayed on another year. They should have kept the guy. And he lost the league by 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So they conceded the goal against Barocca. He did a great job there with what he had. I mean, she's like, let's be honest. I mean, I had to go over. It's like, wow, Ernst,
Yeah.
There's no wingers here. There was no wingers. There was no this, no that. Certain positions that you needed, you know what I mean? They lacked in centre midfield and anyway, all these type of things. But he did a great job then. I thought, and then when they phoned me, I was like, what? Why is Ernst left? Well, he's now, I was like, okay. And then obviously the ban was in place and there's no supporters and blah, 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 we lost the first 3 derbies and then we won the last, 1 or 2. So, but it still didn't. They know. I don't know. I can't tell you.
Do you deserve another chance as one of the top 3? Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns. Do you feel that? Because you've always said, Coach, that give me.
But I think I'm past that. I think I need to go to the national team. I think I'm past that.
Wonderful. I'm glad you've gone there because I don't want to take you to these.
I'm past going there and if you're going to make me the boss, then I must be the boss.
Yeah.
I can't go there and not be the boss. National team, I can be the boss and do what I want, But for me, national team I'm at an age now, I'm older now. And for me to go there is not, you must be, I've got more chance of winning there, that's for sure. You got everything behind you.
Yeah.
You got the finance, you got the supporters, you got everything behind you. So you got more chance of winning. But for me, now I'd rather just go straight to where I feel, need a crack at that,
Which national team? Yours?
Well, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
Why do you keep saying that?
Well, because
you've been quoted so many times as saying that. Why do you think you'll never coach properly?
Well, because I don't feel that they wouldn't look at a guy like me because I tell the truth. They're not going to be happy with someone like me. They've got a guy now who's brilliant, who tells the truth.
Yeah.
And look how well he's doing. Maybe that's what you need more. And not going to tiptoe around situations. If he doesn't think a player is good enough, you must tell him he's not good enough. He doesn't do X, 1, 2, 3. And like he does.
Also, what do you mean they wouldn't go for a guy like you when they've gone for a guy like a Pitso Mosimane? They let him go.
If you look at the chain of opportunity, I should have. If you look at how it works, been longer in the game, who deserves a chance? I certainly would have been long time ago. I should have come in after Gordon, but didn't happen.
Is it they need to come to me? And not that I'm going to ask.
You're not going to. I think if you're a national team, it's like a club job. Like people, they've got 150,000 CVs. You don't get 150,000 CVs. You go for the guy that you want to get.
Yeah.
You look at this. You find out. Okay, what this type of guy that we're going for. We're going to try this guy. So if you're a national team job, they know who they want. I mean, if they're going to take some guy, because somebody knows somebody, which is normally the case, or the agent knows somebody, then those people get jobs, So, but if they're going to take somebody on purely on football basis that knows, I don't know.
Look, Coach Hugo Broos is not going to be there for very long. The man is 72 years of age. Right?
And I've always said it, and you can quote me on this, the national team should be for an older guy.
Why?
Because you don't coach.
Okay.
You select. And experience will tell you.
Okay.
You go watch games, you select, you get them for 2 days, or you're going to coach them for 2 days. You put them in a structure. You got an idea where you want to play. And then you can select players the way you want to play. And obviously, it finds its way. You know what I'm saying? In terms of then to get better quality, the opposition to be better. Obviously, which we don't get enough of those games. If you look at Clive's time, when we came back in we played Brazil, Germany, England's, Argentina. We played proper games. And now we're not getting enough of those games because of our ranking. I would think teams don't want to play us,
So you're saying an older guy. How much time does Gavin Hunt still have in this coaching thing before he starts losing?
Well, until the club don't like your face anymore, they kick you out. That's how it works.
So you're willing to keep going until you're just tired?
I love the smell of this morning. Who was the first guy at the training this morning? 6:30. Who was there? Me. I was there at the field, down, boom. We're working on players, fitness, running extra. I was there. Do I have to be there? No, I want to be there. But when clubs don't like your face anymore, they don't like what you say anymore, they get rid of you. So you got to keep going. Longevity, consistency, honesty. You got to have those things in your DNA, in your makeup. And that's.
Here's one thing that's seemingly happening now. Thanks. I think it's fair to say thanks largely to Coach Pitso Mosimane is coaches are now starting to take that gamble, but also they have the brave the braveness to go out into the continent. What if North Africa starts?
I'll go tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. I never had the opportunity. Pitso was very lucky because he had he had the Sundowns team that won the Champions League, and obviously once you win a Champions League, the doors open for you, and you got the Al-Ahly job, and then once you're that, I mean, he won there. The one thing you got to say to him, what Pitso's done brilliantly, he was the first coach at Sundowns that said, "I'm going to do this thing my way. I'm going to sign my players, not just good players." And they always brought foreign coaches in, signed players, square pegs, round holes, don't fit. He brought players in that he wanted, the way he wanted to play the game. And he was successful. You cannot not be successful. So Rolani's done the same now. Yeah. He brought a lot of players in that he wants, the way he wants to play the game. And that's the way it's got to be. Obviously within your financial boundaries. I mean, I would love to bring in X, Y, Z, but I can't. I can't get them. So I've got to, we got to get players that don't sort of fit the profile and fit them in somehow. So that takes a bit more coaching, on the field, more showing examples, how we do things, So, I would love to go. But, as I say, South African coaches get judged on your national team.
Yeah.
So if your national team is down, that's South African coaches. It's like South African players. What do they know? If Brazil wins the World Cup, Brazilian coaches are the best. Brazilian players are the best. Germany, it works like that. It's a fashion thing.
But now see, there's Bito, who's even gone beyond the African continent. There's now Rulani, there's Fadu Davids. There was you. Look, all due respect to Coach Athazwane as well as Coach Stuart Baxter, but you are the reason Kaizer Chiefs got as far as they did in the Champions League. Are you saying that nobody was knocking on your door after that campaign from the African continent?
Well, maybe it's to do with what agent knows who and how things. That's how the game is. You know what I'm saying? But you will find generally, if you get to finals and you get to later stages of the Champions League, you are becoming a little bit more. What's the word? People are certainly taking a little bit of interest in you.
Becoming attractive.
Yeah, you become a little bit more attractive, and sometimes right place, right time. I mean, it was a guy Zimbabwe. Now he won the double in.
Yeah.
Did he do well? Yeah, I don't know. But he's got a job there. He won double there, so it's like right time, right place.
What is your mandate for yourself? Because I know management has their own mandates for themselves, for coaches. What is your mandate right now with SuperSport United? What are you trying to do, considering that you continue selling your players?
Yeah, we're a different model now. So when I came back 3 years ago, we had a meeting. I said, well, what do you want to do? I want to win the league. They said, well, we don't think you can win the league, Again, like this is a different model now. It's a different parameters are different, budgets are different, cutback, this. And you've heard what's happened to MultiChoice. It's the comments out there, So I went, okay. So I said, well, so what do you expect? And well, we got this youth development. We want to exploit the youth development. We want to play younger players, blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay, but that means what guarantee have I got to keep in my job? Because, we could lose a few games here and you're going to say, he's useless or he's out. And I said, well, no. So there was this discussion before I even signed the contract. So I said, well, listen, I want to win, but that was the reason why I left SuperSport in the first place, to be fair.
Yeah.
We sold the team. We sold the players. And then when I left, they bought players again, and and I was like, now you're buying players again. I mean, what are you doing? Anyway, so we had a discussion, and I looked at it as an exciting project. I thought but it doesn't help me when we keep a Maseko my first year, and then he goes to Sundowns, and TT, my centre-back, goes to Chiefs, and Patrick goes to Pirates after one season. And now I know if I had them, plus what we had this last season, we would be better.
Yeah.
But we sold them because financially we need to. Now this season, obviously, you've got 3 going again that are key players for our first team. So now it's, filling in again, and we've got 1 or 2 experienced one in this year, which will help us, which we didn't have last year. But the proof is obviously in the results. I don't have to tell you. You must remember, owners of football club, there's 2 things that they care about. P's, the 2 P's. Played and points. In between, you're going to Monday to Friday, you maintain your job. Saturday, you keep your job. That's how football works. Yeah. So you can come Monday to Friday, your training sessions are magnificent, beautiful. Yeah, the owner, how's it out? No, players are looking good. Saturday, you lose. Well, what happened to the team? Why are you... So... You've just got to make sure that Monday to Friday, you're maintaining the team, you make sure they're putting in principles into play, patterns of play, what are we doing? And Saturday come, and it's a wing and a prayer a lot of the time sometimes, and you can have a little bit of a bad dip. Then you test the relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships only get tested when on bad times. Not in good times, everything's fine. Bad times in relationships, and then the owner and the coach and the CEOs, and these are the people we need to to talk and see where things are.
Coach, you even said it just now to us, is that you've never been one to mince your words and hold back on your most honest opinion. Where is South African football according to Gavin Hunt today?
I tell you, we've had a bit of an upswing because what he's done, and all fairness to Bruce, he's gone back to basics. He's kept the thing simple. He's played people in the right positions. He's played people, allowing them to play 4-4-2. It's simple. We understand it. We're a 4-4-2 country. Now we complicate things with threes and two, and he's just kept it simple. And I just feel that that's experience for you. Older men understand, a bit more experience, a bit more calmness. Doesn't panic. So if you look at our national team, fantastic. If you look at like a Sundowns, which is our benchmark, they spend billions buying players. So, realistically, they're in that space, they're in another space to us, the rest of the league. Even Chiefs and Pirates can't compete with them. They're not going to buy players at that price. Buying South Americans at, huge prices. So where are we with our football? What we have in South Africa, we've got so many different contrasting styles at different teams. Teams play differently. Where if you go to a Dutch league, a Portuguese league, a English league, the teams are very similar in the way they play the game. Obviously, I'm talking a certain bracket, not the bottom teams, because then it's about survival football. But the top teams, in South Africa, from top to bottom, it's totally different contrasting styles, which makes our league interesting. Our league is crazy, the speed of the league. I mean, I always say our players run faster than the ball, where in Europe the ball moves faster than the players. So where are we in the league? I think we have to be more competitive. Chiefs and Pirates and Sundowns can compete in that CAF space because of the financial, what they've got. You know what I'm saying? To get to places easier, staying, just everything. And they can add 1 or 2 extra players to help them domestically and in the Continental Cup. So they're the ones that really can compete there. They're your super sports, and we, like Stellenbosch, to go in the space now, and let's have a, Boys well, and they'll get through, because they've got a good team. But let's see year 2 of a CAF. Well, let's see where with the extra 10 games or so, you know what I'm saying?
So essentially you're saying it's made our league interesting, the difference in the dynamics of it, but there's still that accusation that Sundowns have made our league boring. Do you feel that they've made it boring?
No, I don't think so. I mean, bottom line, I don't like the way Sundowns play football. It's too slow. I think, when you put in that type of financial money into a club, I think you could play the game and create a bit more excitement in the game. Excitement in terms of goal mouth entries and real play with a bit more speed and intent. They play a game, they dominate all of us. They play a possession-based game, which is, it's nice, bomb, bomb, bomb. But how many opportunities they're really creating? If you look at top sides around the world, they in their opposition's box all the time. And there's shots blocked and crosses coming in. And so, listen, they do it their way. They won it 7-8 times in a row. They've been to semi-finals. Who am I?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I think they could have a little bit more excitement with the speed of the game, where you get Pirates to play with a bit more speed, a bit more intensity. So what's right, what's wrong? But obviously, again, I say, look at the cabinet, how many trophies. You can't fault them.
7 Stars, Hellenic, Black Leopards, Morocco Swallows, SuperSport United, Bidvest Wits, Kaizer Chiefs, Chippa United.
Yes.
7 clubs in South Africa.
I wouldn't have moved if there's a lot of those. I had to go.
I know. Your favorite club, your favorite time, your best time, the greatest we've seen Gavin Hunt from all of these clubs.
You could say winning titles and things like that, but the best time for me, it's difficult. I mean, yes, I love the Wits, because you know what we had at Wits? We had a team there. We had this little stadium there.
Yeah.
We had this vibe there. We had a great pub, by the way, after the games.
I know, Coach.
I spent many, many nights there. There was a club atmosphere there.
Yeah.
all the other ones, they're not a club. So I'm big on that, families and girlfriends and wives, maybe boyfriends, some of them. I'm only joking. But I shouldn't have said that, sorry. But what I'm trying to say, create the family vibe, and Wits had that family vibe. So that period of time, and being a little bit successful, and great training facility, Surrey Park, was beautiful there. That was, and obviously SuperSport, I love SuperSport because SuperSport was a good club. But for me, out of SuperSport, the best time for me, guaranteed 7 stars. Now you say, why? In the first division, we played football like you or like football to be played, not like I like football to be played. We played possession football. It was just crazy. We were so much better than the opposition that we kept the ball. I mean, I had Sundowns players, Chiefs players. I had a player that played in Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa final, Ali Dick on the left wing. He played against Anderlecht in the final. He played for a second division, we had Lennox players. So it was coming, especially as a new coach, coming into a game and being dominant like that for 3-4 years. It was like, this is football. It's easy. It's coaching until you go. And then the period of Black Leopards, I mean, the fans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Toyando Stadium.
I was a mayor of Toyando there, just to be in that vibe, that period of beating Chiefs 3-0 there, we beat Team Bushbuck 7-0, we beat Amazulu, I think it was about 5-0, 6-0, the Lennox 6-0. The games were like, wow, man, full stadiums. That's the thing I missed, at SuperSport. We've won leagues, anticlimax, no one there, but we won leagues, so.
Your worst time?
I think
the low-hanging fruit, a lot of people would say Chipper
I think
United.
My biggest disappointment obviously is Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I had that opportunity to do it my way, you know what I'm saying? I had 8 months there, up and down, hardly coaching, the players they're going to leave, I just needed, let me build a team. Give me 1 year to build a team here, just like build a team. Say, I want him, where you have that opportunity, and it didn't happen. And
if they were to call you and ask you to come back and promise you that they will give you what you want, will you go back?
Yes, I think it's got to be right. I'm in a very good place at the moment. I'm in a happy space. I've got a good staff, good players, nice people to work for. You have to be in a situation where I was out of work, type of thing. Then if you go, you got to go, to say, right, okay, I want to know how much you're going to spend.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me spend the money. So I'm going to say, so if you offer a player, they say, let me buy somebody like for 15 million. I say, no, I don't think he's worth 15. We can get somebody better for 7 or 6, but I can get another player for 7 or 8 to make the 15. Do you understand what
They must trust your opinion. Just because you have the money, don't just spend the money.
You spend it eventually.
Yeah.
You do the negotiation, but I should be involved to know, do you want to play? Yeah, I want to play. They want 15. Oh, I don't know about 15. I think we can get a foreigner for 10.
Yeah.
Better. Those are the type of things that need to, and how do we want to play? We want to do X, Y, Z. What do you want? We want to win, obviously, So I think I've had that once at Wits. I had that experience where we never bought players. They were all frees.
Yeah.
Free. We bought one player, Butle Makwanese from Takis. The rest were free. A lot of them were free, and we built a team because I went, we need that type. We don't need that type. Yes, we need this. We need that. And then you're getting in players that know and understand what we're trying to do, and that makes a big difference. So I wouldn't say Chief was the worst time, but it hurt me the most in football. The day I left there was, my daughter said to me, both my daughters said they've never seen me like that, and I've lost games, and I'm going to lose games, and I've lost cup finals, and I've lost this and been fired here, but they said they've never seen me like it. I was devastated. It took me, and people say, oh, you take the chipper job after. I said, I needed that. Get out into the seaside, go down to PE, and that was magnificent. The pre-season, we started well, but obviously, chipper, you're not going to last there. You draw a game and it's not good enough. And we were building something there, chipper. We had a good team there with a few little 1-2s. Yeah, we never had it. I brought 2 strikers down. I'll never forget. Pagamami Slambu and Rodney Rakarela. The one snaps his Achilles and the other one does his knee in the first week. So now I've got no strikers and we're starting. And I got blamed for that. They injured at training. Do me a favor,
the greatest South African footballer of all time, either be it during your playing days or your your coaching days, the greatest player that either you got the chance to coach or even watched in this country? They have to be South African, coach.
Well, I think let me go back to my playing days. I think the best player I played against and seen was Ace Ntsulengwe. I thought Ace was Ace. There'd be 50,000 in the stadium. The game would go 100 miles an hour. As you get the ball, you just walk. Everybody just walks. Nobody went near him. Once you went near him, you just dribbled off. Jomo was exciting, excitable. I never saw the best of Jomo. Jomo was, a little bit more in the 70s, but I saw him at the end of his career. He was big already, but I mean, he could make the ball talk, They don't make it talk. They spin it and, they flick it, and he was excitable. But the best player, Lawrence Channel White, I'm talking about White South African, was very good. He was fantastic in my sort of era. But there were so many good players from that era. Ace, Jomo, they were top players, the best player I played with was a guy called Des Bakos. Played with me at Lennox. I was a youngster. He was obviously, not finishing off, but right at the end of his career. He came from Highlands Park, went to Rangers. They won the league 85, 86, I think, with Rangers. 86, I think, yeah. I might be wrong, 85, 86. He was a top player, best player I played with. The most exciting player as a kid, I'm talking now we're going back to the 70s. I love Jingles Pereira. He was my favorite player. He played for Cape Town City. I was from Cape Town. They were my team. I'm the biggest Cape Town City supporter, even today. I always check their results, even though it's my opposition, but they was my team. Cape Town City was my team. I played for Lennox. That broke my heart because it was my biggest. They folded when I sort of came in. I only came in 80, 81, and they would fold it in 78, 79. So that broke my heart. I mean, it's like today, what teams get sold. And I was a kid, like my team, what's happening. Dad, my father was a season ticket holder at Hartleyvale in Cape Town. Just pulled me along there, and so, and I wanted to play in the juniors, but the juniors folded and everything folded there. So it was really sad. So those, I mean, there's in the modern day, there's some, I mean, I've had a long career now, 30 years. I mean, seen players. There's so many players that have stood out over the years. A guy like Surprise Mariwi, I loved him.
What?
He was a player. He was a player in my last few years. I mean, in this 2000 era, especially early, he was a guy that I looked at. I thought, wow, this guy could play. He's like Temazwani now.
Yeah.
Temazwani's the best player in South Africa. There's no doubt about it. And Surprise Mariwi, he was, I wouldn't say similar, but similar guile, touch. They play balls around the corner. They're just so balanced and I always thought, if I had a player like that in my team, I'd love a player like that. I thought he was top. I'm talking about since I've been coaching.
Yeah.
I've sort of given you eras.
Yeah.
When I first started as a kid, my playing days and sort of coaching era. He's one that's always stood out to me, and I was like, wow, what a player he is,
Before I let you go, coach, give me your starting 11. Right now, they say to you, any player you can think of or that you would like to put in your starting 11 right now. Right now.
South African players? Jeez. Oh, anyway.
Anyway, coach. Anyway.
Oh, that's difficult, eh? I mean, football ebbs and flows a bit. And I think it works on a little bit of emotion, fashion. I wouldn't say fashion. I would like periods of time. I mean, if I look at football, the Brazilian 1970 team.
Yeah,
that was as a kid. I was young, but I'm always Pele, Jorginho, Pereira, this one, that one. That was then the sort of 82 team, the Brazilian, they didn't win any, they lost in the semi-final, 82, with Zico and Socrates, and I love that, but German teams are always I love the German teams. They always came and scored extra time, they frustrate you, and so sort of eras, Italians, Italian teams, you won the World Cups, and that was never really great, but yeah, so pretty much a mixture of those sort of players. I think if the Brazilian teams had the German defense, with a Brazilian tack, and I think it would be a world-class team.
So you'd reckon Brazil would still be dominating if they had that kind of structure at the back?
Yep, I think Brazil. They were always attacking, which is always, but they had more wingers than fullback attackers. So when Cafu and Roberto Carlos came in, they sort of did away with the wingers.
Yeah,
and they must come. I disagree with it. I'd rather have people high up the pitch, 1v1 players. Those. For me, when I go to a football match, that's the first thing I watch. Who's the winger on both sides? I want to see them, and I want to see them square the fullback up and beat the guy. I get excited with those type of things. That old winger types who drops his shoulder and he's got a bit of a chink in him. I like those type of players.
We're going to take you out of the conversation because you're probably going to choose yourself the best right back ever.
Cafu was. I can't see better than Cafu. I mean, I'm talking now. This is a period of time. I mean, Cafu. I love Gentile from Italy.
Yeah.
He was fucking, but he wasn't the best. But like Cafu, he could defend. He was quick. He was,
You respect German defense, but you're not throwing a Philipp Lahm in there?
Philipp Lahm, I think Philipp Lahm is wasted at right back.
Okay.
And I think what Pep did with Philipp Lahm, he moved him into midfield at Bayern Munich. I think he's a better footballer there. And I just think he can give you so much more. I think when you're a fullback, you need to have a little bit more aerobic ability. And I think Cafu had that more. Philipp Lahm is good,
Yeah.
But I think Cafu, that AC Milan, if I ever want a football team, I want AC Milan, with Sachi, with Rijkaard, Gullit, Van Basten, Ancelotti was in centre midfield, Maldini, Baresi at the back, I can't remember the fullback. That team, that won the European Cup and that,
I'm still going to put your head on the block, and this is where we're going to wrap it, Coach. We don't now know who to give the Ballon d'Or to because we've been so used to Ronaldo and Messi.
I'm so bored of that. It was so wrong.
Who are you giving the Ballon d'Or to? Just this last period, this last year.
So I think there's got to be a criteria. If there's a World Cup in the year,
the World Cup winner. Or the best performer at the World Cup, yes.
When is the award?
It should be happening at the end of the year, this year.
Okay, so Messi won a World Cup. He's won the
Copa America.
Okay, he's playing in Inter Milan. Okay, Inter Miami. Sorry, Inter Milan. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I found it very boring with Ronaldo and Messi. I think Messi deserved it. Ronaldo deserved it. But I found that it was players, over a period. I mean, Haaland should have won it.
When he scored 50 goals plus.
50 goals, won the Champions League. And he don't win the Ballon d'Or. I thought that was a bit, I mean, that's like, I don't think everyone's going to score 50 goals again, So I felt that, and it's like you involved, the man of the match at games. They give it to goalkeepers and the guy makes a few saves. Okay, yeah. But there was a guy in midfield, didn't give the ball away. He played forward balls, had a few shots. Okay, maybe he didn't score, but he was magnificent, And we don't see that guy, So the Ballon d'Or's to go to that guy? I think Ballon d'Or has to go to a guy that gives me magic.
Yeah.
Gives me something. And is it Mbappe? Is it... He'll win it now at Real Madrid. Guaranteed. Because they're going to win it. They'll win everything again. With him there. I mean, imagine their front line. Vinicius, Rodri, and Mbappe, and Bellingham behind. Are you joking? I mean, they might win 5-4 every week, but they're going to win by the 5, because of defense maybe. But yeah, Ballon d'Or is very difficult. I could never give you I mean, I have my favorites, what I look for in players and that type of thing, So, yeah.
Coach, what do you want to see about South African football in the near future?
World Cup. Got to go to World Cup. We got to go to World Cup and get out the group. If we can do that, well, if we're going to World Cup, we're going to achieve already. But when we go to World Cup, people get excited. But if we can go to World Cup and get out of a group and get into a knockout game, wow, man, have we got the players? Look at that current Bafana team. A lot of players that, on the wrong side. He's going to have to start bringing a few in. But obviously, they're trying to qualify. You normally qualify with the older group, and then you go there and they're too old. They're too, that integration takes takes quality, takes understanding. And there's a famous saying in football, never let a team get old together. You know, and your team that you got there got old together, he leaves, and it just goes woof.
Yeah.
You know, I think you need to, when you're winning, you need to integrate new players, younger players, and try and keep the momentum. And that takes, you know, quality, experience, understanding of the game and that type of things. So for us, we've got to be qualified for World Cups, I think.
Coach, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Overstayed my welcome.
Thank you so much. A brain that I think we're still very privileged to have, you know, opportunity to tap into. So thank you very much for hanging out.
Thanks very much. Thanks. Yeah, we can talk football for days. Yeah,
yeah, we can.
We haven't tipped the iceberg.
No, most definitely. Coach, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
An absolute legend of the game. We honestly can sit here and talk football the entire week with Coach Gavin Hunt, but he does need to go prepare. We do now know that it is the Betway Premiership. That's now the new, of course, sponsor, Betway ourselves, our good friends right here on Smash Sports. That's going to be starting now in August, so you can almost expect a lot of chatter around what the clubs are doing, SuperSport United, who's coming in, who's going to be leaving. You definitely want to stay with us as we bring you all of those details. But of course, Gavin Hunt, one of the greatest to ever do it in South African football, chilling with us and doing 10 questions right here, of course, on Smash Sports. Make sure you go on over to Smash Sports on YouTube. If you've not subscribed, do that and follow all of our content.